necessarily asking for the treasurer, which would be a board position. But who maintains the books? Who's the chief fiscal operating officer? Isn't it you, Mr. Adair?
Through the chair, that's not correct. No, it's not me.
Who has the books?
Control of the books, through the president, control of the books does not necessarily mean control of the chief financial officer role of an organization. Chief financial officer of that organization would be considered to be the treasurer of that organization. Off the top of my head right now, I do not know who the treasurer is. It is a board appointment. It's one of 3 or 4 people, but I'm not specific. We will get that information and get back to you.
The office of the LDC is Suite 8100, City Place. Those are county offices, aren't they? Isn't that the county economic development offices?
Through the president, can the question be repeated, because I can barely hear what's coming through the microphone.
The question was that the address of the LDC is Suite 8100 City Place, 50 West Main Street. Those are county
Point of order,
offices,
Mr.
aren't they?
President.
State your point of order.
Well, what does this have to do with the amendment?
What it has to do with it, Legislature, is that the LDC and the county are not exactly totally autonomous entities. The LDC operates out of the county's economic development offices. So that when we attempt to say that there's some kind of intense negotiations that would be necessary to change this, that simply is misleading. If we went to the people over the Economic Development Office who run the LDC and told them we wanted to change the 2003 agreement, it would get changed.
Further discussion on the amendment to the amendment? If not, all those in favor of the amendment to the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
So we just failed.
Roll call?
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Quattro.
No.
Mr. Bronson.
Yes.
Mr. Adair.
No.
Ms. Andrews. Yes. Mr. Barker.
No.
Mr. Beebe.
Yes.
Mr. Cassetti.
No.
Mr. Colby.
No.
Mr. Cruz.
Yes.
Mr. Daniele.
No.
Mr. Dodson.
No.
Mr. Driscoll.
Absolutely not.
Mr. Eckel.
Yes.
Mr. Esposito.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Mr. Gamina.
Yes.
Mr. Haney.
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
No.
Mr. Hyder.
Yes.
Ms. Kaylee. Yes. Mr. LaFountain.
No.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Lightfoot. Mr. McCann.
No.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Mr. Tucciarello.
No.
Mrs. Valerio. No. Mr. Yolovich.
No.
President Irish.
No.
Fails 14.
Legislator Johnson, on the main motion.
On the amendment, the original amendment.
Right.
Yes, Mr. President, I stand in support of the original amendment. I think that although through the questioning, certainly I feel that we could go further this evening, but a step in the right direction is still a step in the right direction, and therefore I stand in support of this amendment. Thank you.
Further discussion on the amendment? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Amendment carries. Legislator McConnell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Subsequent to the submission of the 2009 county budget by the county executive, the full value assessment to be used in calculating the Monroe County property tax levy for 2009 has been revised. The total assessment to be used is $37,679,657. And I would offer the following amendment to that end. And I think we'll be passing that out. Thank you. I would move that appropriations are decreased as follows. Account 9001-511502000, child welfare foster care. Commitment item 504400, public assistance benefits by $45,056. Revenue in the following account is decreased as follows. Account 9001-1209020000, unallocated county general, commitment item 40000, property taxes by $45,056.
Second to that amendment.
Second.
Discussion on the amendment? Councilor Andrews.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through your administration, could I just get I understand what's being reduced here and what's happening to the funding through the chair, through the president?
Through the president, the tax levy amount is being reduced subsequently. When we reduce any revenue account, we also have to reduce an appropriation account. That's the second half that throws the reduction to the child welfare foster care budgetary line of approximately $45,000.
And through the president, why is the allocation reduced in the foster care area?
Through the president, it's reduced in the foster care area, and because of the reduction in care days for foster care, there's no operational impact on the Department of Human Services budget.
Thank you.
Further discussion on the amendment? Second.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said there's no money being taken over, necessary money being taken away from Department of Social Services. Is there money being taken away from the child welfare foster care program?
To the president, the answer is no.
Then what would be the effect of any program or services done within the child welfare foster care?
To the chair, the days in care associated with it would provide funding through the state, and those dollars would not be drawn down because the number of days that we're actually providing care has been reduced.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Any further discussion on the amendment? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Amendment carries. Dr. Parkman.
Just a couple of comments before we continue with the rest of the budget discussion, which I hope is brief. I made a comment to a member of the media yesterday that this isn't necessarily my favorite evening with the legislature, and I think that I need to explain that comment before we go any further. If history stands as any record or as any indication of what we're about to go through, we're going to spend about the next 6 hours in an exercise of futility. In all likelihood, we'll spend the next 6 hours entertaining amendment after an amendment, after which we will pass the 2009 budget as it's been presented. Just as a reminder, this is a budget that is balanced. It preserves the 2008 property tax cut. It increases spending despite the straining of people in the community, mainly from the Democrat caucus to the otherwise. It restrains unmandated spending by 2.9%, which is half of the rate of inflation. And first and foremost, it doesn't increase the burden to the property taxpayers of this county. Even Mr. Bronson, I was glad to read in the paper, agreed with me this morning in his assertion that at the end of the night, which I hope is shorter than usual, we will pass this budget.